everybody. Welcome to Talk 365. I'm Holly Love with the oh-so-talented Mr. Rich Bonaducci.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you having fun on Talk 365, Rich?
So far, two of them now.
Is it your most favorite show ever?
It is my most favorite show ever.
That you've ever hosted ever?
Ever.
Ever hosted ever?
Uh-huh.
He's being so politically correct. I just want to be the favorite. Okay, what have you been up to, Rich Bonaducci? Tell me, didn't you have a fun thing happening?
I did have a fun thing. It was kind of melancholy. It was sad at the same time. My buddy's son is in a band called Advent Horizon. Really cool band, prog band. Check them out online. And they are a foursome, but they're losing one of their guitarists, Benny, who's going to Colorado for a girl.
What, Benny?
So they played at Fats Grill one last time, and it was really cool. And Fats Grill is a really cool place. We should talk to them about.
I know Fats Grill is really cool.
Great food and a great place to hang. Tons of pool tables and like a bar and restaurant upstairs, and then the bands are downstairs. So you can still hear them up top, but you can still talk as well. And if you want to go down and enjoy them, you can. So last Advent Horizon band as a foursome.
What's a prog band? What does that mean?
Progressive.
Oh.
Like Yes, Rush, Genesis, that kind of stuff. Nothing you can dance to, put it that way.
Got it.
You'd hate it.
Who, Yoko, what is the deal? This is not okay.
I don't know. I don't know her name, but it's not cool.
Totally not cool, man.
Oh, well. How about you? Oktoberfest, right?
Okay, first time ever getting to go to Oktoberfest, but I am no stranger to the whole...
Drinking.
No, to the entire situation at German stuff. Okay, so German Hof up in Ogden, we actually hosted a crowd surfing there earlier this year. It was super fun, and Salisbury Echo played there, got to interview the band, and they're so good.
Cool.
And of course, they were up at Snowbird's Oktoberfest.
Probably not prog.
That's not prog music.
By the way.
I think that is polka.
I think you're right.
A lot of polkaing happening.
Although there is a subgenre of polka prog.
Really?
Yes, look it up.
Genesis in
No.
a kilt. Or like a little lederhosen.
That would be some kind of Scottish thing.
What's the lead singer of Genesis? What's that guy's name?
Phil Collins?
Yeah, could you see Phil Collins in a little lederhosen? That'd be fun. I don't know how we got here.
I don't know either,
Really
but I think we should leave it.
Okay, you have been to Oktoberfest though, yes?
Sure.
And what did you think?
I think it's a lot of fun. It's a great thing to bring to Utah. Again, not that I'm much of a drinker, frankly, but lots of people complain about Utah being a dry state. And so to have this place where folks who are like connoisseurs of beer and whatnot, they can go and actually try all these different kinds of really world-renowned flavors and whatnot.
Because it's like people who actually really like beer, not just go to get drunk.
They do it as an art. Like the hops and all this stuff. They really get into it.
Technical.
Yeah.
And then they have a bunch of games. And there's the guy with the bells. Have you seen him do that?
No.
In the Salisbury Echo? I think we're going to need to go up there. Because it's like 10 degrees cooler up there. It's beautiful. And I learned where hippie cool chicks get their clothes.
Sarongs.
Is that what they are?
Well, it's kind of a rap thing. They're really cool. Yeah, I like them.
Like you see them and you do? You're a fan?
I wouldn't. I don't think I look good in them, but I like looking at them.
Yeah? Well, you get them at Oktoberfest. I've always wondered. I see the cool hippie chicks and I'm like, where do they get them? And that's where they get them.
Germany.
And in Germany? No. Did you know lederhosen are like $800 or $400? They're really expensive.
That's why I don't wear them.
Is that your main reason?
Yeah, it's too much.
Just, okay.
Yeah. Legs are fine in the little eggshell. I like those.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so everyone, go to Oktoberfest. It's really fun. It's happening every weekend up until basically it snows at the end of October. And I think that's just about it. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Not really. I think we should just come back with some news you can use.
Hey everybody, it's Holly Love and I am here with my old friend Todd Summers. Todd, you are now the marketing manager of University Credit Union, and guess what? I just became a member today. Tell them why they should become members.
You should become a member, especially if you love University of Utah. See our red color, Holly's red hair, the lips, it works. Lots of benefits from a credit union. No fees, low interest rates on loans, car loans, friendly local service.
Speaking of car loans, I've been needing a new car, and you guys were fantastic. You recommended that I come here first before I go to the dealer, get pre-approved. I figured out what's going on with my credit, what I need to do to fix it, how much my loan will be, how much I would pay per month in order to get the car I want to be in. You guys were so helpful. I am prepared, armed, ready for battle to go find the perfect car. There is really just no excuse to not get in here to University Credit Union and join. Become a member today, like me and Todd.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Holly Love with Rich Bonaducci. And Rich, you've got a little news you can use for me because I don't know why, I just don't know what's going on. Politic me. Tell me what's happening.
We can talk about politics a little bit. Pretty big right now, obviously, because we have an election coming up in 2016.
It is kind of a big thing.
And people are rallying, trying to be the nominee for their respective side. A little bit more interesting things going on the Republican side because there's a whole lot more, well, possibilities over there. 15 to 17 people have said they're running. So you got a lot of possibilities there.
And you were telling me Trump is still the front runner.
Trump is still the front runner, but Jeb Bush is behind him. He has like a double-digit lead on Jeb Bush, at least out of polls. You know, polls, and a lot of times, you know, you got to look at these polls for what they're worth. They probably talked to a bunch of Republicans who are just in this one certain area, maybe Trump supporters.
Okay.
So of course they're going to say Trump's out front, but still, he does get a lot of press.
He does
and
get
his a lot of name recognition and
the
all that.
stuff he says really draws attention.
It draws attention. It carries.
Gets people crazy.
And I think he's, you know, he's of the mind that any publicity is good publicity. So he doesn't really care if he gets bad publicity.
Does he think he really cares if he wins or loses? He's just in it to see if he can, or what do you think?
You know what? It might be just a bit of a narcissistic sort of, hey, I'm out there. I don't know if he really cares to win.
Yeah.
He's going to be making a lot less money as president if he wins.
True.
Like, you have to put all of your financial stuff on
He
hold.
can't do reality TV.
Yeah, he can't do all that stuff, and he'll just
As
be
much.
drawing a salary as a president. So,
Or maybe he will. He'd be the first guy at the White House to be like, "You're fired," to his apprentices.
that's right. That's right. Vice President, you're fired.
Yeah.
But on the left side, everyone assumes it's going to be Hillary Clinton.
Slam dunk.
In fact, we've assumed the nominee was going to be Hillary Clinton back when it was her or Obama.
The last time.
You know, when Obama got it, they were like, well, she'll be it next time kind of thing. But there is a little bit of interesting stuff happening on that side. Bernie Sanders, who is an independent out of Vermont, is getting a lot of grassroots support the way Obama did back in the day.
Yeah. He's
So-
like the quiet storm.
Yeah, it's a
that's
bit of a
brewing.
quiet storm there. He's getting a lot of, he's filling stadiums where they would rent out a little house and then they find out they have, 27,000 people are showing up. It's crazy. So, but Trump's doing that a little bit too. They just
Okay.
had to move from one room to a much larger room because I think it was just this past weekend, a whole lot of folks were showing up. So,
Interesting.
but then again, this time last year, you know, Michelle Bachmann won the straw poll in Iowa, which I don't even think they do anymore. I think they stopped the straw poll.
Polls are
So
this time, can I just be honest? I hate the whole political thing. Like,
Yeah,
up until
it's-
it's so painful because everyone's like predicting and predicting and predicting
Yeah.
and predicting. It's like, it's the longest ever time. I like any election year. I kind of
There,
want to
there
like,
are
stab
some
myself with a
predictive
pencil.
folks who know what they're doing, and they've predicted really well the outcomes of, say, every state. So I tend to watch those guys, like the Nate Silvers of the world. But it's interesting. We'll see. We still don't know, obviously, who even the presumptive candidates are going to be because there's possibilities all over the place.
Do you like Bernie Sanders? Do you think he would be a good
I do like him, but I just don't know if he has the
staying
campaign behind him to really get him elected.
Yeah.
You know, but
mean,
it
Hillary's
takes a lot. It takes
she's
a lot of
a-
money to get elected.
She's a force, right? Wouldn't you
Yeah, and a
say?
lot of people think she's the nominee already. Well, she's not. So, you know.
So happens. Well, you know, she does know how to wipe things with a cloth really well.
Apparently, I have not seen that yet, but yes.
Yeah.
And
that
Trump
was
knows
fun.
how to, you know, declare bankruptcy and things, not personally, but
Yeah.
just for his businesses.
Everyone has their fun. Both sides are completely nuts, if you
Yeah.
ask me.
So-
that is my 2 cents, whether you like it or not. Okay, don't go anywhere because we're going to be right back right after this with something really cool.
What?
We'll tell them when they get back. They got to stick around.
Oh, all right.
Don't go anywhere.
Let System Networks handle your technical needs so you can focus on what you do best. With a wide range of 24/7 technical support services and a staff of high-level network engineers, System Networks can eliminate all your company's time-wasting technical problems, allowing your team to be more efficient, productive, and able to focus on the work they do. Mention this ad and they'll put $1,500 toward a new server, cloud licensing, or firewalls. System Networks, allowing you to do what you do best.
Hi, and welcome back to Talk 365. I'm Rich Bonaducci, and this is, as ever, Holly Love.
It's me.
You're back.
I'm back.
You told me that we were going to have a cool thing in this segment, and I want to know what it is.
Okay, I do have a cool thing because I had a chance to go up and talk to some people, one of them being a representative from the Lighted Candle Society and from the Certified Hypnotherapy Training School.
Okay.
Have you ever been hypnotized?
I don't know. I don't think I have.
So I think hypnotherapy kind of has a bad rap. People don't quite. Are you right now?
I don't know.
What's the word?
If-
Like
if-
pickle juice? then it happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
No, it's serious. It has a really, not a bad rap, because I actually was a psychology major for a while, and I always associated hypnotherapy with like the big guns.
That
like
explains
you
a lot,
go
actually.
into like, you know, that's when you have intense stuff. Anyway, they are helping people all over the place with all kinds of problems. I think take a look, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we get back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. You're gonna like this. Good stuff.
Hello, everyone. I'm Holly Love. Over the past few months, Talk Utah has been focusing on Utah's kids, and today we are going to take a look at issues and problems that are facing Utah's families. We are here at the Certified Hypnotherapy Training School. I am with Dennis Parker, who is the founder, and with John Hollingshead, who is from the Light a Candle Society, who fights pornography and all of that. It's a nonprofit organization. Now, both of you have got your finger on the pulse of family problems in Utah from different perspectives. And so thank you so much for being here to talk with me today.
Pleasure being here.
Awesome. Dennis, let's talk to you first, because hypnotherapy as a solution to problems, I guess from my perspective, I always thought you probably needed to have some really big issues to go and be Those are like the big guns when you go see hypnotherapy, to like draw back a ton of old stuff. And that's not the case. And this is definitely not what happens in comedy clubs. That's ridiculous if you think that. So tell us a little bit about what you do and the problems that you're helping.
What's different here is that our behavioral model is different. Okay, the standard behavior model is that a person thinks it, and then they feel it, and then they do it. I mean, that's pretty much the accepted general model. Our model here is different in that we take into account for the fact that we think it. Then we can actually make a decision as to whether or not we want to accept that thought and allow it subconscious access. Most people don't even know they have that ability or that they can have that kind of control. So when they do accept it, the next thing that happens is that it stimulates their imagination. And the imagination is a huge amplifier of emotional content. So the next thing that happens after they've amplified their imagination is that they'll attempt to justify, validate, and defend it through memories. So nobody wants to be wrong. You don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong, right? So we're looking for validating data from our memories to justify whatever we've accepted as being right, true, and correct for us. So the thing that's different is we're adding two more behavioral components to the model, in that we understand and feel we've discovered how the imagination really works, and the justification that's coming from the memories, and how to desensitize the imagination, alter the perception of the memories, which now collapses the emotional content. And no emotion, no behavior. So, the general model is that we tend to behave the way we feel. And if you no longer feel that way, then you no longer behave that way. And a person can take control of their life in that sequence.
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And you can see, basically how it can go from just everyday stuff to really big problems that you're having. It could fix marriages, families. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. We're all in life, and life is tough, is basically it. And you're helping you understand how to deal with that. Now, Mr. John Hollingshead, you have an interesting perspective, because you are with the Light a Candle Society, which has been fighting pornography for some time. That is their sole purpose. It's a nonprofit organization. And it is spearheaded by John Harmer, who has been doing this in 50 years. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, John Harmer is a wonderful man. He hails from California. He's an attorney. And under the Reagan administration, he was lieutenant governor there. And for 50 years, over essentially his whole career, he has fought pornography. About 15 years ago, he organized and is the chairman now of a nonprofit called the Light a Candle Society. When he was introduced to Dennis, it changed very much his whole approach, because he finally found somebody for the first time ever that he can endorse, that could actually be therapeutically helpful to help people overcome pornography.
Wow, that's pretty huge, because he has been out there. He knows firsthand everything that pornography does and what it does to a life and a family, and breaking it down. And he's never really offered a solution. I know he's been out there trying to stop it and prevent it and create laws and tests to prove things all about it, to make it not so accessible to families. But to have that, endorsement is really amazing. And you have known for a long time the amazing effects of working with Dennis as a leader in the LDS Church, correct?
I've had great experience. In fact, I ran into Dennis initially through one of my daughters. who coincidentally had one of my grandsons helped with a very hard thing, enuresis or bedwetting.
Oh, wow.
And when I found out about that, I said, this is interesting. That is so hard to do. And I went up and chatted with Dennis, found out what he does. And when I found out how effective his therapy is, I've sent many people, whether they have marital issues, pornographic issues, issues with anxieties. He's just so effective. I highly endorse him. We have I don't know if we can use the word cure rate, but we have a success rate of over 85% of the people we send to dentists. They go forward after just a few visits instead of 20 or 30, as is mostly the case. Yeah. 4 or 5, these people usually learn mind management techniques that make them self-sufficient. That's critical.
Which normally therapy is years and years sitting on a chair and a couch and talking about all your problems as they come, and it sort of almost feels like it's never going to stop. I know that's been my experience in my life with therapy, and so to know that there is something available that is a short-lived thing and you actually learn how to manage your mind. Who doesn't have a mind? And I think managing it is probably a pretty good thing.
It is. In fact, to use a trite colloquialism, Dennis actually teaches people how to fish, so they don't have to be given fish. They become self-sufficient. It's a wonderful thing.
And hypnotherapy, because again, I think, it's interesting. I actually don't go to the whole comedy club thing. In my world, I actually wanted to be into psychology, and what little bit I studied into it, it was like hypnotherapy was the big guns. I mean, you go to that when it's like you've really blocked some trauma and you've really got some serious stuff happening you got to deal with. So it's very serious and very technical, and not to say that that's not what he's doing, but he is able to deal with the everyday life stuff, which in your situation, having people come to you and families falling apart just from, financial problems and all the stuff that life brings, just to learn how to manage your emotions and your anger, and that's huge.
It is. In fact, I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about the term hypnotherapy. I have found, and I actually learned about Dennis by sitting in his chair and having him work on me so I could really see what it was about. I never felt like I was being hypnotized. I never saw anything unusual. There are a lot of, I think, very inaccurate depictions of hypnotherapy. I like to call what he does teaching people how to manage their minds and their emotions, and it's highly effective. I highly endorse it.
Extremely powerful thing. Okay, so now talking about a little bit more the endorsement from the Lighted Candle Society. Dennis, this is such a huge thing. I think it is huge for people out there fighting against pornography and trying to bring some kind of an answer and hope to the cause. There is a solution. Tell me why you're different and what it is that allowed you to get this endorsement.
Well, again, it's because we feel we've discovered how the imagination works.
It's that imagination thing.
It is the imagination. Pornography is an imagination problem.
Yeah.
And so, again, the key to that is that when a person is viewing pornography, they're off in their imagination, and the more they entertain those thoughts or they turn them up in their imagination, they're simultaneously turning arousal up. So the more they amplify it, the more aroused they become, and so on. Then the behaviors start from there because, again, we behave the way we feel. So if they know how to take their imagination and immediately start to turn it down and turn it off, arousal immediately goes away, bodily functions immediately change, and they're back in control in seconds.
And I mean, you don't even call it an addiction in that case, because you don't feel like it's an addiction. You feel like with the ability to control it, you have a hard time with that word is what I'm getting at. And it's okay.
Well, it's because I don't believe it's an addiction. As I deal with people, it's a long string of poor choices. And when we really teach them how to use their mind both consciously and subconsciously, which is what hypnosis is about, I believe hypnosis is what we would normally call pondering. If we were to take it out of the clinical setting into the religious setting, we would call it pondering, and we would call hypnotherapy meditation. And we all know how many times we've been told to ponder and meditate or figure out our problems. And what this does is this puts a person in a state of mind where they can get access to their conscious and their subconscious functions at one and the same time. That's the power of it. So James 1:8 says that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Consciously, we all think the same. Our problems are in the incongruent, inconsistent, rationalized, stinking thinking at the subconscious level. And so the answer to it is how do we get access to what's down here?
Running the show for real.
Yeah, and sometimes, we like to use the logo as the iceberg. 10 to 15% above water is what we know about ourselves. The other 85% is what's buried below water that we need to get access to change it, because that's where the roots of the problem are.
Yeah.
And so through certain trance access, certain levels, it gives us access to that information. So now the person themselves can consciously go back down and change and challenge what they've been believing. And they really do it themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a facilitated program, if you will, more than like a counseling or I'm going to tell anybody what to do. They get to come in and read and fix it themselves. So they have that proprietary interest in their behaviors because they've made the new decision. So now they need to make it be right for them.
I think taking away the addiction word is empowering. And I think people who are out there and they feel like that it's like this magical thing if you've got this addiction that is controlling your life and you can't do it. And it's like, no, that's not the case. You can actually control and get in there and be in the driver's seat of your own mind and in your own life.
That's right. And the people who come in and who want to cling to the idea that they're an addict are the ones that I say, they want to use that as an excuse for failure in advance. It's a disease. It's not my fault. It's not my problem. I'm not accountable. So we don't let anybody get away with that here.
I think families out there who have struggled and have not been able to have success, or a person out there who has not had success, that is maybe they've received that as kind of their death sentence and they feel, not hopeful. Hearing this information would be amazing. So I love it. I love that you take that out of the mix because I think it gives you some responsibility and empowerment. Now, before we have to go, I want to talk about people who are inspired from the standpoint of going to school. I mentioned I wanted to be into psychology and I find this stuff fascinating. I want to read your book. I love it all. If someone is out there and wants to come and be a part of your school and learn how to do this, how do they do that?
They can simply go to our website at certifiedhypnotherapytrainingschool.com. Everything's on the website. We're a total open book. The class schedule starts September 1st, this next go-around, and all of the details of how they can become a certified clinical hypnotherapist and actually set up a practice and do clinical hypnotherapy if they want to. Or we have more interest from parents and grandparents and people who would just like to learn these skills but have no intention of becoming a quote-unquote therapist other than working with their own family. And we allow people to do that at a much reduced rate and come in and still obtain the same clinical skills.
Oh, that's awesome. So if I want to come in and just take the class and learn about all of this stuff, totally available to do that, not starting a new career, or if you want to start a new career, both are available.
Either way.
Awesome. And for people who are not here in Utah, they can take your class online, right?
They can. We actually broadcast every live class. Right here. Yeah. And this last go-round, we actually had somebody attend from Belfast, Ireland.
Really?
And it just depends on how good their internet is on their end. The school, we have it set up to where, our quality of broadcast here is really good. And so we have people who attend from Canada, Virginia, from all over the country, and they can get their certifications online.
That's amazing. Or just take the class like you said?
Yeah, just even local people on a snowy night here, we all just stay online and nobody has to travel. We don't go anywhere.
Oh, that's really great. Okay. Now, what if somebody wants to see you specifically for sessions? How do they go about that?
They can simply contact me or my office at 801-628-0693 or 97 is the last two digits of the office number. And then also I work with the Advanced Health Clinic here in Farmington, Utah. I'm here as the certified clinical hypnotherapist. They could also call the Advanced Health Clinic or they can contact me directly, either way.
Okay, that's fantastic. And you help people all across the country over the internet as well. John, we were talking a little bit about that. I mean, from your perspective, you deal with a lot of missionaries that sometimes have anxiety and issues come up, and you've referred them to John over the internet.
It's worked well. Students that are away from home, there's a great advantage monetarily and time-wise, convenience-wise. The students can be on the internet with Dennis from their dorm room. They don't have to come home, and a missionary anywhere in the world that had an issue that Dennis can help with can stay where he is, doesn't have to fly home, and can get the help he needs very quickly.
Wow, that's really cool. So now, Dennis, what if our friends out here mention they saw us on Talk Utah? What will happen? Great discount, right?
Yeah, we're going to give them a student textbook package, a value of over $200 for mentioning that they came in from Talk Utah as a student.
That is really awesome. And then I get those as well, right?
Yeah.
So I can start reading.
How could we turn that down?
I don't know, because I need to be like the best in the class and know all the answers. I'll be the annoying one.
There you go.
Or over the internet. That might even be easier.
Whatever works best for you. That's the way it works.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me, guys. And we'll do this again. I think there needs to definitely be follow-up with issues and focusing on families. It's obviously a top priority of both of you guys and everyone. And thank you for joining us. We'll be right back right after this. Hey everybody, it's Holly Love, and I am here with my old friend Todd Summers. Todd, you are now the marketing manager of University Credit Union, and guess what? I just became a member today. Tell them why they should become members.
You should become a member, especially if you love University of Utah. See our red color, Holly's red hair, the lips, it works. Lots of benefits from a credit union. No fees, low interest rates on loans, car loans, friendly local service.
Speaking of car loans, I've been needing a new car, and you guys were fantastic. You recommended that I come here first before I go to the dealer, get pre-approved. I figured out what's going on with my credit, what I need to do to fix it, how much my loan will be, how much I would pay per month in order to get the car I want to be in. You guys were so helpful. I am like prepared, armed, ready for battle to go find the perfect car. There is really just no excuse to not get in here to University Credit Union and join. Become a member today, like me and Todd.
Welcome back to Talk 365. You know, I have not been to Oktoberfest this year. I promise I will go.
Okay.
But you went.
We should try to go.
Well, yes, but you already went and had yourself a great time.
I did.
Trying to talk to somebody there.
No, you're super confused, and that's okay. I'm gonna help you out.
Okay.
So here's what happened. We did the Germanhof, which is up in Ogden.
Okay.
The first year, which was my first time at any kind of a German festival. I've never seen anything like that. That's one thing about crowd surfing I love, is I get to find out all of these like categories of people who do get like their weird outlet into what they love. And not weird, but you know what I mean? They're like super into something, you know, like they're Germans and they have Lederhosen and then this is what they live for. Or they're cosplayers and they dress up like Wonder Woman and this is what, it's so awesome. So Germanhof was my first exposure to it, did Oktoberfest, but my band that I interviewed, Salisbury Echo, they're playing at Oktoberfest. I interviewed them at the Germanhof with crowd surfing a while back. You're gonna come with us. And there was a guy that we talked to, he's a special guest star, and I still don't know if he like actually did not speak English or only German, or if we just had an interview where I was talking to a German guy who was just like smiling and nodding. It was completely weird. I'm gonna leave it with you. Rich, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy this.
Euro-Musikanten.
So you do speak English?
I go in 5 minutes on stage and play the chicken dance for the guys here.
He was totally pulling the wool over your eyes last year. He can totally speak English.
No, just a little.
Do you speak English well?
A little.
See? A little.
A little. Small.
Small. Yeah. A lot. You're really good at it?
What do you say?
You're really good at it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, I want some German words to call Farrell. What are some good German words? Like some, like, you know, like he's a stinker, he's mischievous, he's a brat.
Handsome, good looking.
No, none of those.
Good looking?
No. A stinker, a brat.
A brat? A Brot?
A what?
A brat? Brat?
No, not a brat, a brat.
A brat? What?